In the near future, something may disrupt our ability to come together like this. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared to have more difficulties in your personal life that's going to move and migrate into the markets too? These are all things that you should be aware of. And I am trying my best to empower you to be able to weather that stuff, should it endure longer than most people would expect it to. And this is all I can do. I can't fix everybody's problems. While I have a lot of money, I can't give you all money because nobody has that kind of money. So I'm thinking that if you can be compelled to stay close enough to me to let me influence you with these types of ideas, I am convinced that there's enough receipts with other people and my ability to show it to you in real time that there's something of value here that you may be able to latch onto. And if it's something that you do latch onto, it's my earnest prayer that you find success with it. I really want to see you succeed with it. And I receive nothing outside of the testimony you share with me. And nobody has ever had their testimony shared. I've hinted at certain things, I've talked about certain things, but you could never place that with somebody. And they could never feel like I went behind them and broke their trust and privacy, because I've shared a piece of something that has touched my heart and my family because of what they were able to do with what they learned. And it's outside of Lamborghinis. It's outside of buying fancy houses and trips and whatnot. That's what inspires me. That's the stuff that motivates me. That's what keeps me going. Because that's what I meant when I asked the Father if He gives me the understanding that I would do this to empower other people. He knew my heart meant not to get people rich and they can be celebrities because of their money. He understood that I want to be able to empower other people so they can help other people and not be in a spirit of lack. It's hard to give to other people when you don't have much to have in your own. If you're barely making it, you know in your heart, if you had a little bit more, if you could afford to give more, you probably would, but you can't afford to. So you're scared to give it because you need it. Well, I understood when I asked God to give me this ability to help other people too. That means that you can't be in a position of lack. You have no excuse why you can't help other people. So if I can inspire you as the person that you learn from to live your life like that, you benefit and they benefit, and He gets all the glory, not me, not ICT. Those three letters are not the ones that matter. It's God. And I'm not God. I'm not a demigod. I'm not anything except for a common man that's unworthy and undeserving of this. And I try to be as entertaining as possible. I try to be as entertaining as possible to hold on to the attention. Because it's hard to compete against TikTok mentality. It's very difficult to do that. But this year, we've had a lot of involvement with the 2024 mentorship. And while you all think that you're learning something new, you're just watching me do it live. That's the only difference. And the people that have been with me in private mentorship, they just spend enough time doing it. And now they see the urgency of being able to make money because things are getting complicated, expensive, and dangerous. We're entering perilous times. These times they're written of in the Bible. Whether you want to be a Christian or whether you want to be an atheist or a Muslim or whatever you are, everything that I told you back in 2016 before Trump was elected, I said these things on Twitter. At the time, I didn't understand what I was saying, but I felt like I had to say them. When I warned in July of 2019 and in October 2019, something really bad's coming, you need to get your house repaired, stock up on everything. Everybody said I was Chicken Little. Everybody was making fun of me. And I honestly, at the time, I was like, wow, yeah, I did sound crazy. I did sound crazy at the time. Like, I was like, I'm talking about stuff that people are going to be like, they're going to mock me forever for that. And as soon as I felt it, I felt this wave of discomfort saying, don't worry about that. You just say it. Okay, I'm going to say it. And anytime I felt compelled, because I didn't care about politics, I never voted in my life ever, and I'm not voting now. You should vote. All of you that are, eligible to vote, you all should vote. I'm not going to vote. That means you understand that I'm not telling you to vote for Trump. I'm not telling you to vote for Harris. I'm not telling you to vote for anybody, but you should vote. I'm not doing that though. My wife doesn't vote. I don't vote. And my children don't vote. Well, my daughter does. She's a Democrat and I don't understand it, but I said a lot of things that I didn't understand then, but they all came true. All of them came true. And that's not me being smart. That's not me being a prophet. That's not me being special. I'm amazed by just like the same people that heard me and they took the advice because I had influence over people then. They stocked their house up and they got prepared. And some of those individuals lost their job because of the mandates they were placing on them. And because they didn't have their job, they had no money coming in, but they had their house stocked up on food and things that they needed. And I still get testimonies from them saying, I'm so glad that I listened to you. You didn't listen to me. That wasn't my instructions. I was following the same instructions too. I was like, if I feel compelled to say it, that means somebody else bigger than me that's telling me to do it. And he's never led me wrong. And I'm telling you, what we're about to experience is nuts. And if you don't get your house ready, that means stock up how you can. That means prepare yourself to find external sources of income. And I'm trying to use what I have as information here as like a ministry to try to encourage you. Because even if you just make one of your bills from your trading, that's a help, isn't it? Like that's a wonderful blessing for me to be used as an instrument to help you do that. And the only time and the only reason why I ask people to give credit to why and how you learn this information is because who I'm talking about right now. It's not about me. It's never been about me. And if you allow him in your life, if you allow him to have influence over your decisions, just sit back and watch how he guides you. Because he's talking right now. He's speaking to people and trying to get their hearts and minds ready because we're about to see some crazy global stuff. And I do another YouTube channel and it's not monetized. And I can prove it to you by signing into it and show you that Google runs ads on it. And they're going to run ads on any video, and that's the way it is. But I do not monetize it. And I talk about things that I feel compelled over the last few years to encourage you all to be mindful of. And I would like more time to be able to do that. And when I stop my live streams at the end of this month, I'm going to divert my attention back to that other channel. And it talks about things that are more spiritually oriented. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm not trying to convince you to be spiritual. I'm not trying to make you a Christian because I can't do that. But I have received a lot of feedback from people finding inspiration and peace of mind and a new walk in life with the things I talked about. And I would like to do more of that. I said this year that I was going to put down ICT, and Inner Circle Trader is being put down. I don't want to be Inner Circle Trader anymore. I don't want to be that defining persona of who I am. I don't want that. When the Father comes and he finds me working, I don't want to be found working as ICT. That's my point. I want to be found working for his kingdom. I want to be found working doing the work of the gospel of Jesus Christ, because that's my Lord and Savior. That's God Almighty that was manifested in the flesh. That's who's given me the ability to do what I do. That's who gave me the understanding. That's who gives me the instructions on what I'm supposed to say, because I don't have a script. And I mess it up when I cuss. I do things because my flesh rises up. But those things I'm not proud of. But apart from all that stuff, there's nothing that I'm ashamed of. Because I have to be a showman of some degree to get you to listen. You're not going to listen if I tell you, Jesus told me to tell you this. You're not going to listen to that. But if I sit in front of a chart and I tell you every 15-second interval what the market's going to do, and you can be monetizing your decisions based on that stuff, You're going to listen to long-winded things like this, and you're going to hear me lace the conversation with God, because he gets all the glory. He gets the glory. He gets the admonishments and all of the praise and the faith lifting up. All that stuff goes to him, not me. I'm not deserving of that. I don't know why he allowed me, because I shouldn't have been given this. Even though I asked for it, I should not have been given this, because I'm no better than any of you. I sin. I say terrible things sometimes when I'm angry. Sometimes, I wish I could do certain things to certain people because they've done something to my family. That's normal. That's flesh. I wrestle with the same stuff you guys do. There's nothing inherently different between you and I. We both bleed the same way. We came into the world the same way, and unless he chooses differently, we'll go out the same way. But my motivation has always been to try to help you become a better person so that we can help other people. And that's the ministry of what I've been doing here. I don't like the fact that I had to lace it with things to get your attention and treat it like an action movie sometimes. I wish I had a better way of doing it. But it worked. And like Paul said, do whatever you can to compel them. And that's the logic I used. And while most of you probably listen to this and think, well, okay, I'm not trying to be a Christian, and I'm not trying to be a preacher or be preached to. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to explain to you what you've been a part of and didn't realize. You don't have to believe this stuff, but you're all going to believe it soon. You're going to believe in Christ real soon. Trust me on that. Okay. You're going to know who the real God is real soon. Real soon. And the people you think are God and people you think are the prophets of God, they're nobody. There's only one God and only one King of Kings, and that's Jesus Christ. He came in the flesh. He himself, not his son. His son is the flesh. That's who that is. He came. He came. The Father himself was manifested in that flesh. And that's who spoke to me. That's who I prayed to. And that's who I worship. And there is no other God but him. None. None else. There was none before him, none created after him, and there's none of them up there with him. It's just him. There's only one throne in heaven, and he sits on it. And whether you're ready or not, he's coming. Whether you are ready or not, he is absolutely coming. And you need to get your house in order. That's all. So get yourself prepared, get right with God, and there it is. You don't have to go to church. It's good if you do. I don't go to church. I have church every day at my house. Every single day I pray and worship. I dance before God, and I'm not a dancer. But I pour everything into worship. And when you get a relationship with him, and he physically manifests himself in a way where you can't deny it, any doubt whether God exists is gone. It's gone. And I want you to think about something real quick. Do you see this global effort, not just in America, this global effort to shut people up and make them conform to their government's expectations? Because if you haven't noticed it, start paying attention, because that's what's coming. They're trying to attack freedom of speech everywhere because they want to control the narrative. They're not going to allow people like me right now, where I'm talking about Christ. And if that gets under your skin, good. I'll be rewarded for that. I'm not ashamed of it. But there's this global push for globalism to unite. That's in the Bible. That's in the book of Daniel, and that's in the book of Revelation. Revelation, not shuns. It's only one revelation. It's the revelation of Jesus Christ. The unveiling, the apocalypse of Jesus Christ. And everything that's going on in the world, when you're all wondering, how did I know about this and how did I know about that? Most of it was an unction given to me at the time. I didn't have a plan of talking about anything. I felt compelled to do it. And then in March 2020, when it happened, I was like, turned to my wife, I said, do you believe this? Like, all this stuff is really happening. all that stuff. I was talking about how bad it was going to be when 1,500 CEOs stepped down in all their companies in early 2019. I said, that's a sign. Something really big's coming. And they stopped the entire global economy and told people to stay 6 feet apart, wear masks, get an undocumented, untested mRNA injected in your body. That I have people I have known since childhood that got killed by that. Their brain swelled up, their heart swelled up, and they died. As fit individuals, as aerobic instructors, fit as a fiddle, in 2 days they were dead. And they were told if they didn't do that, they couldn't have their job. What they're about to put on all of us in 2025, you have no idea. So you need to prepare. First thing is get your house right with God. Walk with Him. Just ask Him. Forgive you. Believe that Jesus Christ is God in the flesh, came in the flesh, died on the cross, was buried 3 days, and on the third day rose again. He picked that body up. He glorified it, and that's who sits on the throne in heaven right now. Just Him. When you get to heaven, you're just going to see Him. And ask Him to meet your needs. If you have fears or anxieties, you give them to Him. He can smooth all that stuff out. All that stuff can get smoothed out real easy, real fast. He created your body. He's the maker of it. And He's also the author and finisher of your faith. So if you ask Him for faith, He's going to give it to you. And He wants you to have it. Even if you believe in another religion right now, taste and see. Give Him a test. He loves to show off. Look what He did in Egypt. He had to harden the heart of Pharaoh. He physically hardened Pharaoh's heart. Why? Because the first plague would have kept him out. He would have been like, okay, that's it. Take him and go. But He physically made him resistant to Him. That's how much influence He has. That's the influence you want in your life. Not ICT, not these yahoos on Instagram and X and YouTube. You can trust Him. You can trust Him. And when I say we're in good hands, that's who I'm talking about. I'm impressed and amazed every single time He tells me, say this, say that, and I say it and it happens. I'm enamored by that. Believe me, I'm in shock many times where I'm like, I'm not expecting that. And I feel like, say this, I say it, and then it happens. Nobody gets that lucky. Nobody gets that lucky. And think before you start getting critical, what do I have to gain from this? It's not monetized. And this is something you can do in the privacy of your own heart, in your home, all by yourself. Nobody needs to know that you did it. Just got to simply reach out to Him and ask Him. I believe that there's a God, and I believe that you are Him. And you came in the flesh, the body that you created, born of a woman under the law, to be tempted like all manner, like we as humans. There's no temptation that He didn't be tempted by. But He walked sinlessly. And He allowed that body to be crucified. At any time, He could have got off that cross and said, no, this ain't worth it. You ain't worth it. In fact, they told Him, come down from that cross if you're the Son of God. He says, don't you understand? I got 10,000 legions of angels come down here and lay waste to everything. I'm willfully doing this. Because if He doesn't do that, we can't be reconciled to Him. And that's what this whole thing's about, that.